Carl Sagan quotes. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Every one of us is, in the cosmic perspective, precious. If a human disagrees with you, let him live. In 100 billion galaxies, you will not find another. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. One glance at a book and you hear the voice of another person, perhaps someone dead for 1,000 years. To read is to voyage through time. If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. For me, it is far better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Who is more humble? The scientist who looks at the universe with an open mind and accepts whatever the universe has to teach us, or somebody who says everything in this book must be considered the literal truth and never mind the fallibility of all the human beings involved? For small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. We are like butterflies who flutter for a day and think it is forever. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. It pays to keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out. The universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. Books permit us to voyage through time, to tap the wisdom of our ancestors. You're an interesting species. An interesting mix. You're capable of such beautiful dreams, and such horrible nightmares. You feel so lost, so cut off, so alone, only you're not. See, in all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable, is each other. We can judge our progress by the courage of our questions and the depth of our answers, our willingness to embrace what is true rather than what feels good. I would love to believe that when I die I will live again, that some thinking, feeling, remembering part of me will continue. But as much as I want to believe that, and despite the ancient and worldwide cultural traditions that assert an afterlife, I know of nothing to suggest that it is more than wishful thinking. I don't want to believe. I want to know. But the fact that some geniuses were laughed at does not imply that all who are laughed at are geniuses. They laughed at Columbus, they laughed at Fulton, they laughed at the Wright brothers. But they also laughed at Bozo the clown. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Taught that literacy is the path from slavery to freedom. There are many kinds of slavery and many kinds of freedom, but reading is still the path. The nuclear arms race is like two sworn enemies standing waist deep in gasoline, one with 3 matches, the other with 5. The truth may be puzzling. It may take some work to grapple with. It may be counterintuitive. It may contradict deeply held prejudices. It may not be consonant with what we desperately want to be true. But our preferences do not determine what's true. The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. We make our world significant by the courage of our questions and the depth of our answers. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. I consider it an extremely dangerous doctrine, because the more likely we are to assume that the solution comes from the outside, the less likely we are to solve our problems ourselves. Exploration is in our nature. We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still. We have lingered long enough on the shores of the cosmic ocean. We are ready at last to set sail for the stars. The illegality of cannabis is outrageous, an impediment to full utilization of a drug which helps produce the serenity and insight, sensitivity and fellowship so desperately needed in this increasingly mad and dangerous world. The cosmos is all that is or was or ever will be. Our feeblest contemplations of the cosmos stir us. There is a tingling in the spine, a catch in the voice, a faint sensation, as if a distant memory, of falling from a height. We know we are approaching the greatest of mysteries. The universe seems neither benign nor hostile, merely indifferent. The world is so exquisite with so much love and moral depth, that there is no reason to deceive ourselves with pretty stories for which there's little good evidence. Far better, it seems to me, in our vulnerability, is to look death in the eye and to be grateful every day for the brief but magnificent opportunity that life provides. It is of interest to note that while some dolphins are reported to have learned English, up to 50 words used in correct context, no human being has been reported to have learned Dolphinese. She had studied the universe all her life, but had overlooked its clearest message: for small creatures such as we the vastness is bearable only through love. Science is a way of thinking much more than it is a body of knowledge. Extinction is the rule. Survival is the exception. If I finish a book a week, I will read only a few thousand books in my lifetime, about 0.1% of the contents of the greatest libraries of our time. The trick is to know which books to read.